Good morning. I just dropped a bunch of stuff all over. This is great. Good job, me. Good job. Is Stream Deck working? I think so. Am I audible? I'm a little bit quiet. Turn up the gain. Is the gain making a difference? Is the microphone being close to my face making a difference? I suppose. My voice is feeling a little bit weak today. A little bit like, I don't know. It's not like it's hoarse or anything, but it's... I feel like I've got to push more air out to actually get my voice to work. So if you hear me breathing heavy, I guess that's probably a reason for it. All right. We're doing a 5-room dungeon today. This is a little bit of me planning ahead. Not something I typically like to do for D&D, because you plan ahead and then things get subverted and then you can't use what you planned. But I'm making an exception because the party has already said they want to do this one. They want to go visit this temple. They were specifically given a job to go visit this temple, so we'll see how this works out. There's also some like critical meta plot info in here that they might want to have. So yeah, we'll see. And then if I finish this up today, I will probably design some more stuff because I have plenty of ideas. I have a lot of ideas, actually. It's my main character flaws. Too many ideas and not enough time. Which should be fucking tattooed on my forehead at this point. God, Tim Follin is a fucking genius. Alright. He made the music for Solstice, which is where this song comes from. It's a game that no one remembers because I don't think it was very good, from what I heard. But the soundtrack is fucking brilliant. Do I want to fix the reminder alert box down here? Oh, stop. It's getting away from me. Damn it. Shit, alright, that didn't work. I don't know how to fix this. I don't know why it's so far down. I don't know why every time I bring it back up it moves further down. I don't. Everything else works fine. It's that one reminder box that's really kicking me in the nuts. Oh, this is the wrong... That's the wrong one. This is the wrong one. There we go. I should probably set something up to play like a playlist or something so I don't have to keep switching the music. That might be a good idea to invest in some of that. Okay. I've already got some of this written. So I came today with an idea. We're gonna do a 5-room dungeon. They should follow the structure of a 5-room dungeon. It will not just be 5 rooms. There will be more than 5 rooms. But not by much. I've got 3 factions here. There's the Old Order of the Serpent. These are Cobalt Dragonborn, which are not a thing in D&D. This is something I've made up for my homebrew. And they worship this being called the Great Serpent, which is from Norse mythology, I think. What's his name? Jormungandr. If I'm gonna mispronounce, I'm gonna butcher the name. Right, and in this temple, they've got a magical item that kind of locks into the structure of the temple that can ward off like curses and bad weather and things like that. Now, the Old Order of the Serpent is completely gone at this point in history. They have all died through war and various things. So now they are dragonborn zombies. So this whole section of the forest is completely littered with these Cobalt Dragonborn zombies. The party's been fighting them for a few sessions now. And they just found, last session, a group of the Cobalt Dragonborn that were fighting with this 12th Legion, which is like a band of an army that's tied to the king of the Red Dragons and like one of Tiamat's direct descendants. They found the zombies fighting with this legion that's invading, that were all cursed to have some sort of purple glow in their eyes. I'm thinking here, now let me turn down my music a little bit. I'm thinking here that I'm going to have the curse binding element of the stuff in the temple limit the curse that's been placed on them to control them by the 12th Legion in a manner that makes it appear as if they're still alive. So like maybe some branch of this old dead religion survived and they're still existing here. And then we'll have it as a twist, as like a little, no, actually what you thought was correct is incorrect. We'll have the twist be that it was just the warding off of this curse that made them appear to be alive. And as soon as that ward has been taken away, they return to being just zombies in the thrall of this Mist character who I'm teasing. Oh, I forgot I actually had to write some stuff. Alright, don't let me forget, I have to write some stuff before the session this week, because I almost missed something important. It was not meant to be a pun. Tomorrow. Alright, I gotta shoot off a quick text. Because I might have guests tomorrow. I might have to wrap this up extremely quickly. Because if I have guests over tomorrow, I've got to fucking clean. My apartment's a little bit greasy and dirty, and I can't have that. Okay. Also, by the way, if you're in the party, this is all like uber spoilers. Cool. So the 12th Legion has one of their centurions' name is Mist. He was an elf. He delved too deep into science that would allow him to transform himself into a dragon. I mean, another thing about D&D lore, a lot of powerful dragons can transform back into humanoids, right? But my thinking is like, you try to transform yourself into a dragon as a humanoid, you might not have the capacity or the power to manifest that ability. And so in this case, it corrupts him completely. And now he can't transform back. He's stuck in like a tormented state of not fully transforming. He's actually the tongue of the dragon. So like this humanoid elf creature is sticking out of the mouth of a dragon. And so every time he uses his breath weapon, right, he's obviously roasting himself alive, which I think is very fun. Not that I want to do that or anything, but I think it's fun from a monster design concept. Cool. And then we've got the actual temple, right? There's some info here about its how it's protected. Mist. He's got to go by an alias for this dungeon. He'll be called the Devil. So you've got this kind of interplay of like the Great Serpent being their god, and then their devil arriving to torment them, right? In a metaphorical sense of like, oh, the dragon's in the air, like we have to go back inside and hide from it. And also, they're cursed enough to be undead, and now it's trying to like control them and stuff. Like, we're getting into something. Okay, introduction. So typically, when you have a 5-room dungeon, there will be some sort of immediate obstacle. I'm thinking this probably won't be as pronounced. This will be a bit understated. There's going to be a whole trek to get here, survival checks and things to actually find this location, like referencing their map, and I want it to be a little bit less of because this won't appear to be a dungeon, it'll look like a living place that is still functioning. I don't want the entrance to be as much of a hurdle. So I'm going to have some of the Dragonborn are just outside, cleaning clothes, preparing food, things you might do outside if you were running a temple. And then you've got some monks and things, so the party goes in guns blazing. They'll get in a fight right off the bat. I hope they don't, but you never know. They do like getting into trouble. And then there's a shaman outside named Somthal. That's a cool name I came up with. I don't know where it came from my brain, but it was in my brain, and I wrote it down. So they can have a chat outside. We can have some discussion. He'll just answer questions up front because he thinks he's still alive, even though he's dead. And he'll probably answer questions as if it were the time period, you know, what is it, 3,000-ish years before current day, about the Great Serpent and all this stuff. And then at some point, if they're sticking around outside for too long, I'm gonna have Mist, the dragon, fly overhead, or even swoop down and breathe some fire, just to stoke him inside a little bit. Inside, I've got two very simple renditions of what the temple looks like. This is the first floor. This is the second floor, quite a bit smaller. Now, it's called a 5-room dungeon. That does not mean there's 5 rooms. There's like 5 separate pieces to the dungeon that you kind of walk through as like a complete narrative arc, right? So outside, introduction. That's the entrance. We've got some sort of puzzle or role-playing is typically the second one, at least from what I'm reading here. That's going to be this bit here. So this first room, I've already written up a description detailing some of the murals that are on the wall and on the floor. So there's going to be a big, I've not drawn any of this out because frankly I can't be bothered. It's too much work to draw every little thing out. If I were publishing this, I might do some more work to that front, but not today. You've got a big mural in the ground of this, you know, this serpent, right? Looping in a circle to bite its own tail, kind of classic stuff. Hang on, change the music. Looping in a circle to bite its own tail. It's got a collar on its neck, which is unusual, indicating that it's chained up, that it's being controlled in some way, and that the chain will run like off of their available like working canvas to a wall or something, so that there's no way to know who actually holds the chain, right? On one of the walls, there's something. This is a recurring theme that comes up. So they keep seeing this mural that's like a prophetic mural depicting an event that happens between when this civilization starts and when it dies. So you've got dark clouds, which is like a storm rolls in. Some sort of massive storm destroys everything on the land. This is the Great Serpent trying to bite its own tail. And then there's two other dragons that are like spinning around each other, yin and yang style, that have seemingly captured the energy from the sun and are burning everything around them. Spoiler, that this is the prophecy came true and all that stuff happened. On the wall to the right, there's the same circular serpent, right? But this time it's completely bound, so it's not just the chain around its neck of it being controlled, but it's like completely locked into place. And then there's a red dragon that is blowing flame over the chains. We don't know whether or not whether they're trying to free it or whether it's forging these chains. That is something to be found out later. But that's the central room. There's also a statue, which is another recurring theme that they've seen over and over again, which is there's a circular statue of a serpent. They found like 5 or 6 of them now. This room 2 is just a room full of tables and scroll racks and things, a place where you might study or read old texts. I'm assuming there are going to be some spell scrolls and things in here for them to find. Room 3 is just the bunkhouse. And then 2 and 3 are mirrored up here. They're loft areas that you can get to. I'm assuming these will be storage. If I wanted to do loot, which I will, there's going to be at least 1 item in 5 and probably a list of scrolls they can take from 2. Excuse me. 4 is a little bit different. So there's an elevator. The room, this kind of sanctum room, I think it's a sanctum. I have to look up if I'm using that word correctly. This sanctum here is divided into 2 floors. The first bottom floor is like a basalt stone floor, and then the second one, there's an invisible floor that people are up meditating on, so they're kind of floating in the air seemingly. But you can just walk out from the upper floors out onto here, or you can take, there's an elevator that you just float up. Okay. So this is 1, that's, okay, that's indented twice. Not really indents, but you understand. 2 is the scroll room. Or the study, sure. 3 is the bunk room. Nope. 4 is the meditation chamber. I don't think I'm spelling that word right, but who cares? And then 5 is the ward room. The last room here, number 5, is the room that houses all of the arcane mechanisms to sustain the warding shield that protects the temple. Okay. Now I'm gonna come back to this. Oh. Hang on. Against the far wall. There's a statue of the Great Serpent. There we go. Cool. I will come back to that. The study is just a plain looking stone room. Little tables and scroll racks. That leads to the floor above. There we go. And actually I want to add a bit about the elevator here. Elevator? No, that's how you spell that. Players to float to the room above. Elevator to the floor above. Yep, that's right. We'll have to come up with some stuff that could be in this room for the puzzle. The bunk room. Full of beds. And trunks. This place looks well lived in. To the meditation chamber. Meditation chamber above. Above this room, there's an invisible floor. No, it's like a ceiling. That allows the players to see monks and shamans. I guess shamans and monks are similar, right? But we'll be fine. Monks and shamans. Meditating. I don't know how to spell meditating. Is that they were floating? Scholars and the like. Roam around this room, reading ancient texts. There we go. Few Cobalt Dragonborn. Lie sleeping in this room. The meditation chamber. The second floor of the temple. There's an invisible. This is really just highlighting how poor I am at speaking. No, typing and speaking. Spelling, really. I meant spelling. Why did I say any of the rest of that? Invisible floor. Oh my gosh. Players to see the room below them, the sanctum. Below them. Okay, let me check if I'm using the word sanctum correctly. Sanctum. Sure. That's correct enough for me. Okay, the wardroom. In behind a wall. In behind a wall at the back of the sanctum. Embedded in... Oh, I spelled both of these words wrong. Shield embedded in an arcane device. Powers the ward around this temple. Cool. Alright, what do I want the puzzle to be? So it's got to be something with the statue. Because either the statue and the wall behind it are right here. Okay, let me look up some spells. I could use the spell Knock, because the players, there's no one who can cast it. There's not a bard, sorcerer, or wizard. So if I give them... Hang on, let me look something up. I might have an... Oh, I just punched my microphone. I might have an idea. We'll see. Okay. Hang on. Right. Okay, I've got it. I've got the puzzle. I've solved how the puzzle's going to work. This is going to be... Well, maybe I can make it a little bit more complicated. So, one of the players has an interesting item. They have an item called the Orbital Socket, which is it's a pendant or a necklace that looks like an empty eye socket that you can put items into that changes its magical properties. This is a thing I've designed. It's also one of the leveling items that I created, which I think I've done a few videos on those at this point. So if you want to see that, go look at that. The player who has this just leveled up to level 2, which means she gets the following ability. If you spend 1 hour studying any spell scroll, you can turn that scroll into an eye, which is the focus that goes inside the item. If that spell scroll is outside your class's spell list, you must also pass a DC 10 plus that spell's level Arcana check at the end of that hour, or the scroll crumbles into dust. So they can't read the spell scroll, but she could convert the scroll into an item that she could use to actually cast the spell. That is good. I like that. And then we need something else for the other players to participate in. So that will unlock the... Because she also gets an additional resource. So it lets you cast the spell twice. Which means that if you find a spell scroll that's like in your spell list, you just get to cast it twice if you spend an hour transforming it. Which ties into like the utility stuff that she has going on. But we've also got a dragon rider who probably needs to be able to do something. And we've got a barbarian who is like a navigation water ability. What if the door is too heavy to open? So they can unlock it. They now have the lock that unlocks the door, which is the spell knock. Maybe there's like a series of pipes or something that run through here to provide water. Or... Maybe they could like fill the chamber behind the door with water to force it open or something. And this is like an intended solution. They've got other options. I can think of one spell the warlock could cast to just go right through it. Although if it's curse proof, I guess maybe not. And then the dragon rider. Maybe there's markings in Draconic or something. Or maybe the spell scrolls are written in Draconic, so he has to read through these spell scrolls to figure out what they say. And then they have to determine which scroll will actually be useful in this case. That could be it. I like the idea. I like the spell scroll idea. That seems good. There is... Okay, what are my other... What's all the beats I have to... So this is just the puzzle section. I guess 3 could be just like a room that does not matter very much. Or could have treasure or something. Could be there just for flavor. I don't mind stuff being there just for flavor. It could also be a bit of a red herring, right? They go into the room 3 looking for keys or something. Or maybe they charm someone in room 3 that can give them access, or like tell them how to solve it. Okay, let me just start writing some of this stuff down. Okay. The wall near the statue is a hidden door that opens to room 5. The ward control room. It holds a magical reward. On the floor near the statue, there are very obvious wear marks that indicate that the wall swings open. But no other indicators of that's the handle, not no other indicators of a handle are present. Okay, kind of like this. The study has spell scrolls. Can be used to open this door. Knock is specifically the one they need. Okay. Open, knock, but what? Okay. I'm having trouble thinking now. This is great. Let me grab some tea. I will be right back. Uh-oh, my headphones are dying. I invested in a thermos. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. I invested in a thermos. A proper thermos as well. And this morning I put boiling water and tea in it, and now I have tea all day. And it's always hot. And I can pour it into a little cup as if I were on the slopes of Mount Everest. But instead of being there, I'm here in my air-conditioned apartment. Like a schlub. Like a schlub who can't be bothered to pour himself a cup of tea. Oh, I can be bothered to pour it. I can't be bothered to fucking go heat up more water. This might just be a better vessel anyway. Boil the tea in the morning, pour it into the thermos. If I gotta make any tea throughout the day, I can just pour it right into the pot, right? Get that shit all kicked off. So this is a good time. I feel like I've really solved a part of my life for $30, which is an incredible deal. This feels the same way as when I realized in college that I could dramatically increase the quality of my life by just buying new socks every quarter, and then it's like $16 to just replace all of my socks and underwear, and it's like I've accomplished something real in my life. You know when you're a child and your grandparents are like, I bought you socks, and you're like, I fucking hate you, Grandma, why would you buy me socks? I wanted Legos and Hot Wheels. And then she's like, no, one day you're gonna understand about fucking buying socks. I'm pretty grateful for my grandmother buying me socks now. She really knew what was up. New shoes are great too. I mean, anything you use every day, if you can replace it. If it's not like an heirloom or not like uber high quality where you want to maintain this as like a treasure that you use every day. Which I've got a few things like that in my life, right? But if this is something that you're meant to wear through, that's meant to wear down and eventually be replaced, replacing that item once every quarter or every 6 months or whatever, great investment. Because you could spend $3 every day buying a fucking Monster or something, or a Red Bull, or an energy drink, whatever you're drinking. Or you could save your money. What's 3 times 30? $90? Do you know how many socks you could buy for $90? Buy you a pair. Buy a pair for the local charity. Toss them a packet of socks. Buy one for your uncle. Your uncle probably needs socks. Y'all know that uncles, they don't buy. They don't take good care of themselves. There's something about being an uncle that means that you just don't really. There's an aspect of like neglect, self-neglect that I don't think is great. All right, let's get back to it. Okay, the study has spell scrolls that can be used to open the door. But the nothing. Okay, I'm gonna look at what abilities my other players have. So Valvis got being able to read Draconic is important. There's only one player who can do it, and I'm grateful for him. Because they're on the dragon-themed continent. Everything they're fighting is dragons or things that speak Draconic or all of this stuff. What can her Homeward Bound do? So she's got, when she levels up to 6, or no, she's gonna level up to 5, which will give her the Wall of Water spell. Create or destroy water. That might be it. Interesting. I am interested in the water element here. I think that so this should be unlock. Unlock the door. Once unlocked, the statue must be soaked in water for the door to actually open. So I can have a little bit of a puzzle aspect, because now we've got one of the characters is a spellcaster who can convert spell scroll into item that can be used to unlock the door. And then we've got another character who can produce water magically, which none of the other characters can do this, can produce water magically, which is something that the Cobalt Dragonborn do. Their breath weapon is like a wave of water that they exhale. So if they can put those pieces together, oh, I can add an inscription in Draconic to the statue. Okay. Hang on. This is great. Okay. Statue. Okay, let's add this here. There is an inscription on the statue that reads, what does it read? What does the statue say? Who knows? On the statue that reads, maybe something about rain? Maybe something about rain. Let me look in the book that I pulled this stat block from. This whole campaign was born out of one book, by the way. I mean, I've used plenty of books since to get aspects of this campaign going, but the whole campaign started when I read one stat block from the Game Master's Book of Legendary Dragons. The Jormungandr stat block is incredible and flavorful. Okay. I'm reading a book, so I can't speak directly into the microphone, so I'm going to be quiet for just a second. Okay. Okay, I've got an idea. So I want to do something that's like a play on water being incredibly heavy and yet also floating in the sky. How do you spell wait? Wait? A weight's too heavy to move. No. I need to think some more. I might write this one off my own. I might have to think about this for a few hours, just to really get the wording down that I want. I've got the idea. It's like this door's really heavy. You can't fucking push it. Is the gist of the thing, and it's like, but there's a really heavy thing called water that if you just collect it, and it's like, you know, shit's really heavy, but yet it still floats in the air as clouds, right? Maybe it's, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I can, what if it's I? I am... that which weighs down the earth. Okay. Flies above the birds. I don't know, let's think about it. I don't like this. I don't like this word cower. Doesn't make sense. It's raised on the earth, yet flies above the birds. Content to float. But sinks when skies are gray. Is this gray? How do you spell freaking the color gray? How do you spell gray? G-R-A-Y and G-R-E-Y are the correct spelling for the color. Both of them. Okay. I guess both are fine. Do I have a preference? I think I prefer it with an E. A bit more of an E gray. I feel like the color gray is personified by the letter E much more than the letter A, you know? A is too happy. Oh, Luke Gygax of the Port. This book is so good, man. This might be my favorite D&D supplement. In terms of like non-adventure, non-setting stuff, there's some setting stuff in here, but the amount of content that I've pulled from this dragon book that I bought on Amazon, because I was like, dragons are cool, that's on Amazon. Fucking incredible. Just a really, really solid book. The actual best D&D supplement is, so far that I've read, that has been released, is The Crooked Moon. It's incredible. Like, even just as a book to read, I've just been reading it. Okay, now hopefully this gets across in some small part. I don't know how good of puzzle solvers they're going to be, because we've not done a puzzle yet. Hang on. Actually, there was a puzzle. They missed it and just blew something up instead. Hopefully they understand that I'm talking about rain or water, and they'll be like, oh, what if we put water on the statue? Anything close to this is fine. Okay, now, what do I want to do about this study? want to do about this study? So I'm checking my phone. I want to see if there's going to be a session tomorrow, because if there is... Oh, Amazon sending me a deal. Hang on, let's look what the Amazon deal is. Amazon has sent me a cat tree to buy for my cat. It is $75, which is quite expensive. And it kind of looks bad. I mean, it's shark themed, which is funny. And they always make the cat tree look really big in the photos and everything, and then you get it and it's just tiny and flimsy. It's, I mean, they're usually shit, right? When I move, I think I'm gonna really kit out my cat with some new stuff, like a much bigger cat tree. Maybe one of those wheels he can run on. I've been hesitant to get one of those because if it's like at all squeaky or loud or rumbly, I don't want to piss off my neighbors of the cat. I mean, the cat's fucking loud enough. He loves to scream. If that wheel thing is going at all during the day, I mean, I'd fucking shoot the cat too. Right, but when it's me solo in a spot where I don't have, you know, neighbors directly to the north, south, east, and west of me, I can put whatever sort of rumbly shit I want in my house. Okay. I kind of like that I stuck it there and I did not put that off, because I think this is actually fine. Cool. The bunk room, we'll figure this one out. This is gonna be a pain in my ass. It's a room that doesn't need to exist. It could just be the scroll room, but they do need a place to live. Do they not? Do the Dragonborn not require housing? An abode, even? An abode. They could have, like, precious metals in there. What would a monk keep in a bunk room that, like, that you'd want as treasure or as useful info? I've got an idea. I've got a great idea. So we've got this Mist stat block. What if Mist had a weakness? What if they've been looking to this guy and they've been studying this dragon? What if he's got a weakness? Oh, there's something wrong with this. There's a copy and paste error. It's not, his name's not Rock. Oh my goodness. Mist. Okay. So I'm kind of thinking that what if the Dragonborn here know a way to harm Mist in some way that... Okay, so my idea for this guy, and again, if you're in the party, don't watch this is big spoilers. Let me zoom in a little bit for you. There we go. That's as far as I can zoom in. In this guy's boss arena, there's going to be a bunch of pillars. I'm doing the Ender Dragon fight that will heal him or grant him some sort of boon or benefit. And I'm planning there being 4 of them. Maybe this temple understands that in some way, and so they could get like a little bit of information about some sort of stone or something that that harbors an energy, and maybe this is some sort of gives you the code to its weakness. Or I could give him a vulnerability, and then they could find that vulnerability in here. But what would it be? What if it's lightning? What if his vulnerability is lightning? Because, hang on. Damage vulnerabilities. Lightning. Because water conducts electricity. Huh? Huh? That's pretty good. And then they could find that in the bunkhouse. Okay. I dig that. Where's my... Oh, it's up here in encounters, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay. The sanctum, the study. Players roll on the following table. For treasure. Form of a spell scroll. And then I'm just going to steal this from here. In the encampment, there's a section where they get to get some spell scrolls, and I'm just going to copy that over. And whichever one they didn't get before, they can get one of the other ones. Where are we at? In storage, right? There's a lot of stat blocks in here. I gotta figure out a new system for this. I need to have like a sub encounter module. I need to write a plugin that lets me simplify all this stuff. Okay. Give me this. Give me this. Cool. Why is this not a table? Oh, there we go. And then there's going to be a list of scrolls that they could theoretically use on the door. So what scrolls might be useful? So there's Knock, which is a 2nd level spell. There's some spell scrolls in this room. Players can search for or can search through. That may help them. Enter the door to the control room. in Draconic. Okay, so let's get a table of these spells. Insert table. Insert table. No, it's just a list. I guess I don't need this at all. Stop with the table. We don't. No tables here. The first is. Well, let's not make it knock first. What do we have? Utility support wizard spells, I guess, would be cool. And then I can just make them all outside of her, because these guys aren't warlocks, obviously. So these could all be outside of her ability to cast, and then she could just transcribe them into her little magic items that she uses. I like shield being one of them. Okay, let's do Mage Armor. Firebolt. Ooh, Detect Magic is a good one. Because I don't think that any of them had the ability to cast a spell. Detect Magic. Comprehend Languages. Shield. Am I misspelling languages? How do you spell languages? Really? Okay. Ooh, Mending? Because I want spells that they could take all of these spell scrolls and I would not have to worry about them like just super cheesing a boss or something. Ooh, if we're in a spot where we're like, this might be storm themed, maybe Thunder Wave. Oh, Identify? That might be good. I'm really enjoying just picking spells from outside the Warlock spell list. This is fun. I'm having fun. Mending Message now. Okay, what about Silvery Barbs? No, it probably would not make sense, actually. Then what about like one higher level one? What does this spell do? Hmm. Ooh, maybe modify memory? Okay, I'm gonna add this as a phone. Modify memory. Okay, so this is the list. They'll need to figure out. Oh, I didn't add knock. This is the list of the spells that they will have to parse through. I will probably hand them all of these spell scrolls because I can just make those now. I have built that pipeline. And yeah, we're well on our way here. In the bunk room. It's mostly empty. Of anything useful. But a DC 16 perception check. We'll find a, could this be a book, a journal? Under the bed. Or one of these Dragonborn. Contains the writings. Monk who was studying. The devil. And found his only weakness. Lightning. There we go. Cool. The meditation chamber, there's nothing of note here. When the ward is shut off, in the control room, the 4 monks the floor disappears. And the 4 monks who were meditating fall to the room below. Again, this needs a little bit more work to decide who the enemies are and what they're doing. Things of that nature. I don't know what this means. Got a bizarre text. Okay. I probably need to design a monk stat block for these guys. What could it be? Okay, and then the wardroom. Shield embedded in arcane device powers the war around this temple. Is locked into the device. It can be removed via the knock spell. Or a successful DC 18. Well, is it really, I guess, a DC 18 strength check to attempt to break the machine? Okay, once the item is unlocked or the machine broken, the curse returns the Dragonborn. And they become hostile. The image dirtier. Of the Great Serpent. On the floor of the sanctum. Is changed to the visage of a four-armed man. Wearing a crown and a black robe. Block. His face is not visible. One of his hands is casting a spell. Two of his hands are casting spells. Two of his hands are casting spells. One is missing. And one holds a chain. There we go. Now we find out who holds the chain of the Great Serpent. We figured it out. Solved it. It's this guy. Who will then proceed to go unexplained for many chapters. A little bit of a foreshadowing for the meta plot. Okay, I think that is done. I think that's done, right? The last thing that I want to do here, and this is not an official module or anything. At some point, maybe I'll rewrite this to be... I do kind of want to do that. I'd like to rewrite a bunch of this stuff to be more general use, but, like, you're not going to get a whole lot of use out of the whole Jormungandr being controlled by this ancient evil or whatever, right? I don't think most people are going to find that appealing. It's got to be a bit more generic, I think. Otherwise, I'd love to release it as is, but you could do the same thing of, like, this old cult that's worshipping a long dead god and the devil character, right? That they're kind of scared of, and maybe you remove the curse. Instead of them all going back to being undead, maybe the devil character arrives and you have to fight him. Something like that that's a little bit more generic. Maybe with a little bit better map, because this is 5 minutes of dungeon scroll, right? I'm map maker. I am not. I don't have the know-how yet to quite make this more professional. I don't really understand. Yeah, I mean, I just don't understand how to make proper maps yet. I'll figure it out one day. It's good enough. Okay, let's do some enemy design. I'm gonna call on my Dragonborn stuff. Where are we at with all this? Probably in monsters, right? Dragonkin? Cobalt Dragonborn, there we go. So we've got one zombie, we've got a small zombie, which I used as child zombies in a schoolhouse that attacked the party, and there was a very, I don't want to say comical, because I don't think it's comical when you're hitting zombies that happen to be small in the face with an axe, but it was a little bit comical. There was some comedy of this is horribly fucked up and gruesome. This is based on the Banshee stat block, just to be clear about my influences. And this is based on the Ashwalker stat block from Tome of Beasts 1, I believe. Let me look. Yes. It is the Ashwalker. I think we're going to take a quick break, and then I will be right back, and we will do some more of this. Okay, I need help. I need someone to translate Gen Alpha for me. Hang on, let me put on the music. My brother, I told him that we should do D&D tomorrow, and that my sister is available to do D&D tomorrow, and he says gang. The fuck does that mean? Does that mean, okay, I'm just gonna ask him. Does that mean you're good for tomorrow? Then? Who has he been hanging out with? What the fuck is going on? He's not even really Gen Alpha. I think he's the like tail end of Gen Z. If you were born in 2008, when does Gen Alpha start? Are they 2010? When does Gen Alpha start? 2010. Okay, so no, they're both Gen Z. They're just really late Gen Z. I'm the early 2001 Gen Z, and they're the late Gen Z that everyone talks about. Doing whatever they do. Why is the Stream Deck? Oh, so here's the thing about me. Why is none of the music working? What happened? What happened? Is all of the music broken? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Stream Deck? Why not work? Oh, because I put my headphones on the charger, and now it's broken. I really don't... Okay, listen. We're the raw dog. The rest of this 5-room dungeon with no music because you need to develop a fucking attention span that it is not reliant on some sort of other audio cue in the background, okay? You need to learn to focus when it's silent. You need to deal with the demons that are in your head. And you need to use the fire of the past, the trauma of the past to guide your future self, right? And we can't be having all this background noise. It's you and me in game design, and that's all we've got. We've only got each other here, and we're gonna make this work. It's springtime, and my nose is a little stuffy, so I'm really feeling it. Why does it look like there's two of the same window open? Does it look like that for y'all? What is going on? Okay, this is the window. What? I have two of the same window open, like a jackass. Okay. Cool. I know it says they can't speak. They're gonna be fine to speak in this version. I'm just not gonna care too much. I want to find a caster stat block that works for zombies. I'm gonna look in a book. So, a fun fact, you can't see this, so it's not really gonna make a difference, but the copy of Tome of Beasts 2 that I purchased, the cover is face up, but the inside of the book, the actual, I forget what that's called, the inside of the book, is upside down. When they married the book and its binding, they got it backwards. So now I have to flip the whole book upside down to read it. It's a very entertaining, stupid thing I have to do. But here we are. Okay, I need some Dragonborn stat blocks. I don't remember if these are in 2 or in 1, but we'll see. Instead of doing any of this, I feel like I know where there's a stat block, now that I'm thinking of it. I feel like in the test combat, I ran Ashwalkers, right? I think it's the Elementalist from CC. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. So I will have to get this entered on my own, unfortunately. I found that instead of manually entering this stuff and making mistakes, as I've done in the past previously, that you can leverage the incredible image processing that what is it called? Claude provides. Now, I don't do a whole lot of generation on, like, I'm not gonna have Claude just generate stat blocks and things, because that's some of the creative stuff that I like is looking through books and finding out what other people have done, and then kind of making it my own. But if you just need stat blocks to come off of a page and into a digital tool, you can snap a picture of that, and then you can just have all of the image recognition, put it into the correct format. I've copied over big stat blocks, and it has worked every time, except for one that I had to go through and fix, but it was actually pretty good. Cool. And yeah, there's a ton of text on the Elementalist that I don't want to copy over, but if I make so that this Elementalist can do an elemental focus as part of being a Dragonborn, so I can kind of copy some of the, so I can change like the fire breath into the Cobalt Dragonborn water breath that I do, and then they can just take the air, the storm elemental focus, which that fits on theme with them. They're kind of storm themed, right? The War Mage I will probably drop. Probably to drop War Mage because they're not meant to be warcasters. They're meant to be like practiced monk-like casters, right? And I'll probably want a few of these scattered throughout. So maybe the people in the scroll room will be these elementalist guys. The monks that drop from the ceiling and that are outside can be one variety, and then there can be some other like normal zombies. And then the shaman, what would he be? What would shaman? What was his name? Sherman Somthal, aka Sherman. What's his deal? Okay, so I want to use the Elementalist stat block as the caster. For this, we'll have the base Dragonborn as the people outside, and some of the people in beds that are like hanging out and tending to the day-to-day stuff. And then I need a monk stat block. I wonder if there's a monk just in the, what is that called? Monster manual. Let me look. Okay, I've got the monster manual. I do indeed. I'm sure that's a great sound. Just air blowing directly into the microphone. Good job, me. Okay. I'm hoping, we're rolling the dice, we're hoping we land on monk. Let me see. Mud Mephit. No, not correct. Mummy Lord. That's not it. I see. Modron Duodrone. No. Alright, I'm not seeing a monk. Anyone here? Well, monk's a class, right? So maybe they'll call it something like a shaman or something. I guess shaman does fit with being a shaman, does it not? Shadow demon. Shambling mound. Nah. None of those. None of those. I guess if we're gonna have Sherman Somthal be the kind of guide that leads you in, he could be the final boss. He could be like boss monster level craziness. So he could be like CR7 or CR8 or something for a level 6 party of 3 with insano magic weapons. Snack. My cat is freaking the hell out. Snack, hey, come here. Snack's in. Snack's yeah, there he is. Hey, buddy. I wish I should get a camera just for Snack. I can just point at him. These are all things I should do. If I had much more time to stream, I would set all this stuff up. But I don't have time. I'm busy not doing productive work. I'm doing other work that's unproductive. Why do I do this to myself? What else there is? I'm going back to the Old Faithful. Old Faithful says Tome of Beasts 1 has the answer. So can I adjust this microphone so it's not in my face while I read? Hang on. If I put this up here, like a boom mic, and I get all creative and shit with it, is that... Can you still hear me? Am I still audible? Why is my levels not working? There we go. Okay, I'm still audible, but if I look down and I speak, it's a little bit too quiet. But whatever. I will crane my neck up and my eyes will point down like a dumbass. Okay. I'm actually going to move this into a spot where I can see everything. Well, I moved the microphone down so that I could look down and speak, but now it's in front of the book. This is a real conundrum. I need... No, this isn't working. I'm just going to talk louder. I'm just going to talk louder, and you'll have to hear me from over there. Here, I'll turn the gain up. Am I audible? Oh, geez, it's peaking. It's really bad. Am I audible now? Cool. I just cranked the gain. So hopefully this isn't too echoey. What do we need? I really wish the music worked. Yeah, let's see if my headphones are charged enough. This is one big tangent where I just go on a tangent for 5 hours. Goat Man. Oh my gosh, that sounds fun. Alright. There we go. That's what you need. Okay, I need a shaman character. Abominable Beauty? Damn. No, it's a CR11. That's too high. So gonna be a lot of me looking through a book. I hope that doesn't bother anyone. No, there's some purple worm stuff. A bone swarm. That looks awesome. What I should really do is I should scan these all into my Obsidian. I should take like a full day and scan everything here into my Obsidian workbook, and then I'll just be able to search what I want. And I don't want to look through books anymore. That'll be the day. A Dow. CR4? It's kind of cool. Deep ones, that's like a level 2. Oh, there's more. I kind of like this stat block. Okay, I'm gonna go with this, just so I set to stop looking. It's gonna need modification, but it's called the Deep One Archimandrite. I can pronounce that word. I'm gonna have to change everything about its theme, because it's meant to be like an abyssal, deep, kinda water flavor, but the water flavor does help me. It does indeed help me. It means that I can do all of the storm theming that I want with it. So yeah, do I have a marker or something to mark this? I have a bookmark. Cool. Now, I'm gonna leave myself some notes on what to add, what to do with this. Let's get some hyped up music going. Okay. Now, I kind of like not having the mic in my face. This is... Oh. There we go. I'm kind of jazzed about the mic being somewhere else. Is this good? You can still hear me, and I don't have to be right up on the microphone now. Snack, what's wrong? What's wrong? Meow. Meow. Do you want to come here? Do you want to come here? You can talk in the microphone. Why are you licking your lips at me? I'm not tasty. Stop it. Snack. You behave. He's not very good at behaving. He's actually quite bad at it. Okay, let me take some notes on what I want. Actually, first is up here where I was before. No, that's the session introduction. Where is the test combat? There we go. Test combat. The Elementalist. Being monsters. Yeah, this is a spectral Cobalt Dragonborn Priest. I want a Cobalt Dragonborn Zombie. And then a Cobalt Dragonborn Monk. Oh wait, no, not zombie, shaman. And then for the monk, I'm going to adapt this stat block. And for the shaman, I'm going to adapt this stat block. Let me grab it. The Deep One Archimandrite. And this is in Tome of Beasts, page 73. Cool. And I can get those scanned in when I have a free minute. That'll be great. Okay. Is there anything else? Anything else we want to do with this? I don't think so. I think we're good. Let me get some more tea. Coming to the end of this tea. I think there's a full gallon of water in here. Or no, a half gallon of water. My bad. Which means I've had a half gallon of tea, which I think might be a health concern. But maybe not. Certainly a lot of water. All right. I think that'll be the end of the stream because I now have to go clean to get ready for company tomorrow. I think. My cat is freaking out. All right, I gotta go check on everything. I'm getting to strength, and we gotta call it here. Thank you for hanging out, and I will be back, not tomorrow because I guess I'm doing D&D tomorrow, but later this week for more streaming. I will probably do some more D&D prep, and then we still gotta do some software stuff with all that, with the OpenSheet things, and we need to do a whole stream where I just sit down and freaking plan for like 5 hours or something on that. I need to get all of that entered into, I don't know if it's going to be Jira or something I write or what. I have ideas and plans and thinking to do. What else? I really want to finish Hollow Knight. I need to beat Pantheon 5. We need to clear a day in the schedule and just sit down all day and play that game until it's done, so that I don't have to think about it anymore, and I can move on to Shadow of the Farloom. What's it called? Silksong. I want to play Silksong. I want to get in a spot where I can actually edit the second season of Down the Well, because I think people like that a lot. And it's been weird that I had like a cool series that did really well, and then I just kind of left, and I was like, I'll figure that out later. I'll come back to that. But also, no one solved all the not all the problems, all of the puzzles in Season 1 are solved yet. In fact, only one of them are. Or two of them are. Kind of. One of the ones that solved, people don't know where to apply it, so they have not applied it to the correct videos yet. But anyway. Maybe I should repost those as like one right after the other in a official order, and then maybe I'll post that as like a long form video or something. That's interesting. I might do that. Okay, that is it from me. I have things to go do, and I appreciate